VCMG Live is not responsible for any content, information, or opinions expressed. User bears full responsibility for their reliance on such content, information, or opinions.
Would you love to deepen your spiritual connection and create a conscious shift in your life? Do you seek answer to human experience? Well, welcome to Spiritually Speaking with Sarah. It's a 2.5-hour safe haven for your questions and Spirit's answers. And you can transform your life right now on VCMG in South Florida. Sarah Spiritual is a gifted spiritual advisor, coach, and medium who can assist you to connect the light within and transcend beyond the limits of all possible experience and knowledge. For the next 2.5 hours, listen and call in toll-free 866-9-SARAHS. That's 866-972-7247. And watch Sarah Spiritual live on Facebook and YouTube and share love and light.
The world is changing now, and we don't know where to go. The world is different now, and people have lost their way. It's just not easy to be who we want to be, 'cause the world is changing now. We can't walk the way we did. We don't know the path. We have to listen to our heart. The ways that worked before, they don't work anymore. We have lost our love for everyone. We have hurt each other. The world is changing now. It's asking us to move along, to open up a different way of loving one another. We can't stay the same. We've lost the game of life. We can't run away anymore. The world is changing now. We need to heed the warning. The world is calling you to rise above where you've been. The world is changing now. What we did before doesn't work. It's time for you. It's time for me to change. The world is changing now. Won't you change and open your heart?
Yes, indeed. The world is changing. And as it changes, we have to change with it. But how do we make these moves and changes? Tonight, we're going to call the universe. We're dialing up the angels, dialing up your guides, dialing up your loved ones, and we're tuning in to all of the universe so that the universe can answer us. And as we connect all across the nation at 866-972-7247, we want to hear from you. Hark, I hear a phone ringing. That means it's time for you to pick up the phone and join the callers as we answer life's questions. So why do I want to talk to the universe? There's an entire universal force that is here to assist us. And we should always ask for that assistance. So many times in the journey of life, we make choices. We make the choice based on what we think is the right thing to do. We make the choice based on what other people think we should do. But do we ever stop and ask the universe for a sign as to what is the best thing for us to do? How can we make a change in the best and highest good for ourselves? Often, we don't sit and be still and ask the questions. And when we need to ask the questions is in the beginning of the process. So many times people ask these questions when they're 90% involved in whatever they're doing. I wonder if I should pray about this or check with my guides and my angels. I wonder if I should pray and meditate. We want to pray and meditate before we do anything of any major value to us in our lives. It's an important journey for each one of us to recognize that we are forever, always connected to the universe. And the universe is always echoing and answering each one of us in its own unique way. And we have to pay attention. We have to pay attention to the messages that it sends us. I was talking to someone yesterday, and they were telling me how it was the cutest little story of how these doves kept coming on their little landing on their porch, and literally, because their sliders were open, they would fly in and come into the sitting room, the family room that was off the patio, and they would just kind of sit there and look at her. And they would pause and they would stay inside for a few minutes and then they'd fly out. And she said, well, that's kind of unusual to have two doves come flying in, and it's happened several times. So what does that mean? It's a message. It's a message that they're looking after her in the energy of love, and that they trust her, and that wherever they choose to nest around her, they know they found safe haven. Now, if we look at the deeper meaning from the universe, two doves represent love, represent connection, represent loved ones on the other side, knowing that they are watching over us. And in this case, it was really a message from her mom. And her mom was letting her know that she's all right, and that her mother is always watching. The watchful eye looking from above, be it on a tree looking down on the patio or up on the bookcase in the family room looking down on her. The mother is always there. But often we're too busy just trying to make it through the day. Often we find ourselves worrying about, well, the bird flew in my house. What am I going to do about the bird? And we don't really pay attention to the message of the bird coming in. Yes, I understand we want to get the bird out. The bird doesn't really belong inside the home. But if we become confronted with this need to solve a problem that may not be as big a problem as we imagine it to be, we find ourselves missing the clues, the subtleties of the universe. The universe subtly speaks to us. It tells us, we hear you, we're with you. It shows you something on a license plate. It messages you in a way through a song so that you know that you are thinking all the right thoughts. You ever feel like you wake up and you're in a really good mood and you get in the car and some of your best tunes come on. That's the universe lining up the frequency to help you. Now, I know there'll be some of you who'll say, oh, but it's really just, the shuffling on the radio station or the shuffling of the music on my phone and the selections that I already have pre-programmed there. You could say that. But then why is it on another day when you're thinking about someone who's passed, you might hear their favorite song right after you thought of them or right before, and that causes you to think of them. You see, everything's connected. And everything in this world that's connected is part of a greater frequency. And we want to learn how to expand ourselves to receive these messages. So we have to step back and stay out of this myopic feel of this is the tunnel vision of what I have to do. And we have to take the blinders of life off and open up to see what the universe has. Because the universe doesn't always speak to us directly, bam, right in front of you. It's those subtleties. It's something that catches your eye, passes you by, gets your attention. It could be a sign on the freeway that you never noticed before. But suddenly you do. When we call the universe and we ask the universe for answers, we're essentially tuning into the presence, the power of the connection between you and the divine creator. That's what you're doing. And when I ask people to talk to the universe, they're like, well, who am I talking to? Well, I guess for each one of us, it may be under a different umbrella, a different title. God, the creator, some say Mother, Father, God. Some people like to pray to Jesus Christ. Who are you praying to? Who are you talking to? But they all represent the same divinity. They all represent the one path. Are you going to say that someone who is a Buddhist and prays to Buddha doesn't get the same results as someone who prays to Jesus? We get the results. Because it's being answered by a higher force, a higher power. And all roads lead to God. And God is ever vigilant, never faulting, ever watching, and waiting for us, the humans, to get a clue. To truly understand that we're not as separated as we think we are. There's no division between us and the universe. It is a separation that has been indoctrinated within us. It is a conditioned way of looking at it, but we are all contained in the same bright light. We have had the power and the ability to assume a physical embodiment, and this physical embodiment has distracted us from the case of the spirit within you. That spirit that already knows what you're meant to do, that spirit that doesn't have confusion, that spirit that is leading you to all the right opportunities, and then your mind, your experiences, your limitations, your fears, those are the things that are blocking you from really receiving the messages from the universe. So could you imagine if every day when you woke up, you said, I am one with the divine universe. I am one with all that flows around me. I am one with the angels and the guides. I am one with Mother Earth. The force of the divine creator that flows through me is always acting for me. And nothing in the universe is ever conspiring against me. Everything is working to support my destiny. My destiny that is already written. Maybe you ended up on a side road, somewhere where you thought you'd not be. And that's okay. And maybe it's a little bumpy on your side road. But there's a universal flow that is directing you, leading you, bringing you back to the outcome that's meant to be yours. There is no separation. There is no lesser than, greater than. There is only what we see. There is only light. There is only love. Our mind, our emotions, we can fixate on the angst, the agitation, the anger, the frustration, all of which is within us. But we have to heal. The world is changing, as the song says when we open the show. But you have to listen to your heart. You have to choose to heal. And that's something that we have all creatively avoided on so many levels. And that's something in the past few years many people have thought, wow, I have to work on me. I've got to fix me. I've got to do me. And we are kind of peeling back the layers and kind of coming to understand why we have patterns of experiences that keep happening to us. And we're understanding that we are the common denominator, and we need to take our own accountability as to why things happen. It's a time for each one of us to take a look inside. And here's the best part. If you really look inside of you, you'll see the stardust, the sparkle, the magic that is unique unto you. If you really look inside of you, you'll see the twinkle of the divine. When you really look inside, you'll feel the power of love. When you really look inside, you'll remember who you are. No longer will you be enslaved to the indoctrination as to how you're supposed to be. You will come to recognize what you were meant to be and who you were meant to be and how life is meant to unfold for you. This is a powerful time for humanity. And we've gone through so many changes, as we will no matter what. Everything's evolutionary. Everything is destined to shift, to grow, to change. And as things evolve, we have to evolve as well. And we need to seek the guidance of the universe. We need to ask for everything that's meant to be aligned to come our way. And when we talk to our angels and when we talk to our guides, we need to be grateful. We need to be in gratitude for the fact that we never walk alone. We need to embrace within our heart that our loved ones who are not here in the physical, they're not far away. And no matter where we are in our journey of life, they are a part of it. And that when people step out of our life in the physical and they are no longer a part of our journey, we also have to learn to let that go. To let it just be. So many people get caught up in going back and picking up the old pieces and trying to drag them into the future when we need to just leave them there. We need to move forward. And the universe is prompting all of us to take a good look at where we are and choose how we move forward. If you're caught in a rut, something that is making you feel as if you are not in the best place in your life, be it in your work, in your relationship, in your family, then what are the clues to help you navigate that? What are the clues to adjust things so that they can be a better experience for you or those who are with you? Or what's the sign that tells you, keep it moving? Move forward and don't allow yourself to get caught in a trap of the past. And then there's this energy of humans that we feel like we need to fix others. That they need to change and be fixed. And we take that on as our responsibility, but no one can change another. Only they can change themselves. Only they can choose to make the adjustments. And you have to decide if you are going to give them the space to do that. So many times we've enabled people to be exactly who they are and not allow them to change because we make it so easy they don't have to change. I see this a lot in relationships. People are just making it easy for someone to just be a part of their life that they don't have to do much to stay a part of the life. But then somebody's feeling unfulfilled in the relationship. And there's an imbalance. And whenever there's an imbalance in the universe works to right it. There are divine laws governing the universe. And there's a law that allows us to find a balance. There is a divine presence that asks that everything be in harmony. And when someone's got their panties in a knot, there is not divine harmony. So how do we find that harmony? Harmony begins within you. Harmony begins within your heart. Harmony begins with you forgiving yourself for your mistakes, giving yourself permission to move forward, giving yourself permission to dream, think big, giving yourself permission to choose you first. There's a really interesting line between self-love, self-care, and selfishness. But if we do not care for self, and we empty our cup, how can we fill that of another? And how can we ever move forward? Because we will always be running on empty. You don't want to run on empty. And many of you do. You're so stretched out in your life that you're not taking care of what is important to you. And we're talking things that nurture you. We're talking things that allow you to move forward. Yes, at times we are in a relationship or a family dynamic that somebody has to take on a little more because it's necessary for another to accomplish something. But then those scales have to be balanced again. The universe will ask that scales are always balanced. There is a divine justice to the universe. There's a divine harmony. There's a divine love. And things that are successful in the world are those that are birthed in love and inspiration. Those are the things that are created from the universe. Some of the greatest inventions were created by a random idea or thought that somebody then put the work in to create. And it's all there in the universe for many of us to grab hold of. But again, as I said in the beginning, we're not always taking the time to pay attention to the promptings of the universe. So tonight we're going to call the universe. And we're going to ask the universe questions of what you may like to shift or change. We're going to ask the universe what would fill your heart. We're going to look for the guidance of your guides and your angels. We're going to dive into who you are. We've been on a journey these past few weeks here on Spiritually Speaking with Sarah, but we're really kind of doing some deeper work. We're coming to an understanding of where we've been, where our limitations have been, healing some of those wounds that have held us back. We're learning to forgive the injustices in life. And we're learning to not be so critical of ourselves. Because if each one of us heals, and each one of us comes from a place of love, and gives love to others, be it humans or animals, then we're going to always be surrounded with love. And when someone rejects your love or someone rejects your kindness, keep pouring love out. If they're not ready to take it, someone else will. Someone else will be appreciative of the kind gestures that you make. They'll be appreciative of your paying it forward to someone else. Because if you do something that's a random act of kindness for someone, even if another human doesn't pay it to you, the universe will always reimburse you. They'll always give you something great, something powerful that will shift everything. It is your time. We just went through this major eclipse, and things have shifted. But if we stay the same, caught in the trap, in the running of life, and not really delve inside and say, what can I heal today? What can I shift? How can I be kinder, gentler, more loving? If we don't do that, then as the world continues to evolve, we're going to feel further and further away from our divine birthrights of abundance and joy and harmony and love. And we don't want to feel that separated anymore. We've been separated in so many ways over the past few years. Isn't it time for us to come back to love? To come back to kindness and gentle energy? Isn't it time for you to give your self permission to say, hey, yes, I want the best in life. I'm worthy of it. And I'm showing up as the best human being I can. And I am embracing everything the universe has for me because I am aligned with the universe. And nothing can get in my way. Because I am the expression of God in motion. And because I am that I am blessed. We're going to take a minute to hear from our sponsors. When we come back, we're going to answer your calls at 866-972-7247. We're going to visit our friends on Facebook and YouTube. So everyone on Facebook, share the page, share the light, share the love. Those of you on YouTube, be sure to put your questions. Leave your questions in Facebook. We're going to be picking some questions tonight. And we're really grateful to have all of you here with us. So we're going to take a minute to hear from the sponsors. Don't go away. Stay with us. And pick up the phone at 866-972-7247. And if the line's busy, don't you worry. Put it on speed dial. You'll get your chance. I'm looking forward to speaking with you tonight. Stay with us for this minute. We'll be right back.
It's just not easy to be who we want to be, 'cause the world is changing now. We can't walk the way we did. We don't know the path. We have to listen to our heart, the ways that worked before, they don't work anymore. We have lost our love for everyone. We have hurt each other.
Stay tuned for more Spiritually Speaking with Sarah, coming up right after the break. Continue the conversation with Sarah Spiritual on Facebook and YouTube. The phone lines are open too. 866-9-SARAHS. That's 866-972-7247. 47.
The opinions expressed on the preceding sponsored program were strictly those of its host, guests, and callers, and not necessarily those of this station, its staff, management, or sponsors.
WSFS 104.3 HD3 Miramar, WIRK 103.1 HD3 Indiantown, and heard in Broward on 96.9 FM, Boca Raton on 95.3 FM, West Palm Beach on 95.9 FM, and in Martin County on 106.9 FM. Programming paid for by Vic Canales Media Group. We are South Florida's home for the True Oldies Channel.
Sarah Spiritual is a gifted spiritual advisor and medium. She can connect you with your loved ones, your spirit guides, and ascended beings. Sarah specializes in love, relationships, money, career, health, and healing. She has an uncanny ability to convey the true thoughts and emotions of those around you. Just call 561-682-0956 for your personal reading. Life is a spiritual journey, and each situation has a spiritual solution. Just contact Sarah for a personal reading today. 561-682-0956. 561-682-0956. Or visit sarahspiritual.com. Or that number one more time, 561-682-0956. Let Sarah Spiritual and Spirit raise you up.
Hi, I'm Sarah Spiritual, the founder of the Expedito Enlightenment Center. I would love for you to visit me at my spiritual oasis located at 4047 Okeechobee Boulevard in the Tree of Life Plaza in West Palm Beach. Come, feel the energy, sample my spiritual sprays and oils, participate in one of my spiritual development classes, and have a personal reading with me, Sarah Spiritual. Let's see what Spirit has to say. You can call the Expedito Enlightenment Center at 561-682-0955. Not local? Visit me, Sarah Spiritual, at sarahspiritual.com for products, classes, and to book your personal session.
This show is furnished by Sarah Spiritual.
The content, information, and opinions expressed during the related show are those of the show personalities and guest alone, and not those of Vic Canales Media Group, its parent, affiliates, or stations. VCMG Live is not responsible for any content, information, or opinions expressed. User bears full responsibility for their reliance on such content, information, or opinions.
Welcome back to the next 2 hours of Spiritually Speaking with Sarah as we continue our uplifting and empowering spiritual discussions to transform your life. A gifted spiritual advisor, coach, and medium, Sarah Spiritual will assist you to connect to the light within and transcend beyond the limits of all experience and knowledge. We have another 2 hours to listen and call in 866-9-SARAHs. That's 866-972-7247. And watch Sarah Spiritual live on Facebook and YouTube, and you can share the love and light.
The world is changing now, and we don't know where to go. The world is different now, and people have lost their way. It's just not easy to be who we want to be, 'cause the world is changing now. We can't walk the way we did. We don't know the path. We have to listen to our heart they don't work anymore. We have lost
The ways that worked before, they don't work anymore. It's time for change. And we can't lose the love. We have to open up our heart. There's that song, put a little love in your heart. Right? So we want to put that love in our heart. We want to open up. But life gets in the way. And each one of us has little problems. And then, of course, we have Mercury retrograde. How's that going for you? We just got started in the Mercury retrograde. That's when all the communication, planets, technology, travel, everything starts to get a little screwy. Never know what's going to happen next. So we always tell everyone exercise some caution between now and the 23rd in your communication and the things that you're doing. Make sure you have all your plans laid out. If you need to remember to bring something, make sure everything's packed for a trip. We don't want to give it the opportunity to kind of cause a snafu. And then, yes, sometimes there are malfunctions. Things will happen. Things will disrupt us. Just never know what it's going to be. I've had my Mercury retrograde day today, so hopefully all of you are navigating your Mercury retrograde rather well. We're going to go to the phone lines at 866-972-7247. And of course, we're answering your questions, welcoming your questions on Facebook. We want to say hey to all our friends on Facebook. It's so good to have you joining us. And thanks to our YouTube friends. If you're not following me on YouTube, it's Sarah Spiritual. Please do join the communication. We've got a lot of fun things that are coming up. But for this minute, we've got to go to our phone lines. And I've got to go to Detroit. I've got Alberta. Alberta, how are you tonight?
Hi, Sarah.
Good to connect with you, Alberta. What do we want to dial up and talk to the universe about? What's going on?
Oh, Sarah, I need the universe to tell me what is going on. I am just in a bad place. My back is up against the wall.
Financially
you know the
speaking,
phrase,
yes.
Robbing Peter to pay Paul.
Correct. I see
rob
that.
Peter to pay Paul.
I know. I see the finances. I do see those finances. And here's the best part for you. And I want you to understand, Roberta, you are in a place of, well, life can be giving you a bunch of lemons, but there is a lemonade coming. This is actually a big financial year for you, even though I know you're coming into the year feeling as if you're in a bit of a deficit and things are really stretched beyond the limit. And you're looking for something else to kind of bring in additional money for you. And I understand your back's against the wall. But this is where we have to surrender and trust that the universe will open up additional spigots or streams of income. We like to teach that to everyone, that you have to ask the universe, because when you ask the universe, there's always plenty for you to put your hands on so that all will be well. So you're feeling stuck and you're feeling as if you have some unanswered prayers around your finances. Is that correct?
Yes.
And interestingly enough, they're showing me things interesting in your home where you're living. Was there something going on in the, sounds kind of weird, in the plumbing or the flushing or the, did we have something going on in the plumbing in your house, please?
Well, it was, yes.
Yes.
It was, but I got it rectified, yes.
Good. So to me, and I was like, okay, in my mind, Spirit's showing me a picture, right? I'm like, looking at the picture going, you want me to talk about a toilet. How do I talk about a toilet nicely on national radio? And they're like, say plumbing, Sarah, that'll cover it. I'm like, okay. So they're making me feel like, and they were giving me the toilet to attract my intention and attention to the plumbing situation. And let me tell you why they're bringing that forth. Even though you've already made that adjustment, which I didn't know you were experiencing that, and I'm glad that Spirit is kind of watching for us. The interesting thing is, Alberta, that your plumbing represents your flow. And things were stopped up. They weren't flowing correctly, right? They weren't making the full force to have the water flow out of the house and into the house. There was a snafu in the process. And so when we look at the snafu in the plumbing process, we say, where does Alberta feel stuck? Where does she feel that things aren't flowing in life. I know you're going to say your finances, but where else within you? You see, everything that's an external product around us is a reflection of where we are internally. So Alberta is not feeling like her life can flow because she's feeling stopped up and stuck up by this is where we're at. What is holding you back within yourself? Because when I look at where you are and then I take us back and I go to 2018, 2018 makes me feel like this was a shift and change, but I feel like you felt like you had a better handle on life then. Is that true?
Mm-hmm. That's true.
And we were in a different workplace, a different job at that time?
Yes.
Okay. So where are we feeling that we're not being appreciated and loved and honored and paid well in our current flow of money? Where is the disconnect?
Well, the disconnect is I lost my job in November 30th, as a matter of fact. And, it's just been, my life has just been like upside down ever since. I mean, there's not a flow of anything. I mean, it's just been chaotic. And I was just so broken last week. And I was like, Lord, I need money to pay my bills. And it's like I had no one to turn to ask. I mean, I have an older sister I could ask, but I'm just so used to having myself. And, and I said, Lord, what is this? When is this going to break? And I was just thinking about, my mom, and I turned everything off in the house. And I just talked to God, and,
So we're going to open the energy for you because you talk to God. It is heard, it is received, but we need to know that we are one with the universe. So I want you to repeat after me.
Okay.
I am one with the divine universal flow.
I am one with the universe.
Divine universal flow.
Divine universal flow.
All doors are open to me.
All doors are open to me.
Opportunities are available for me.
Opportunities are available for me.
This is a setback for a set up to a comeback.
This is a setback for a set up for a comeback.
And I am strong, powerful, and abundant beyond measure.
I am strong, powerful,
abundant beyond measure.
Abundant beyond measure.
And I have no limitations.
And I have no limitations.
For I am one with God.
For I am one with God.
So they're giving me the number 3. We're going to go to 3 weeks. And we're going to look to 3 weeks, bringing in a new opportunity of a way to earn abundance for you that is in alignment with your skill set so that you can have the power of employment so that all can line up for you and that we can have that universal flow. We're also opening up the doorways and the streams of income to give you abundance through unexpected ways. Now, many of you listen to the show over the years. I always have this fun little story. I have this fun story that when I didn't have work, when I was in a tough little spot years ago, the universe gave me the ability to see a number, go play a number, and win the money for the number. You know, your lottery in the state that you live in. And so I became attuned to that because nothing else was coming to me. And I had all this time. So I could either cry or worry or wonder how I was going to feed my son or what was going to happen. Woe is me. Or I could pay attention to some of the clues. And the universe would show me these numbers. And then finally one day I said, perhaps I need to play these numbers they keep showing me. And I remember it was a day that I was on my way to collect unemployment and to go to the office and go through that whole process. And I saw a number. And I said, well, they've been showing me these numbers on license plates repeatedly. Let me take this one and go play. And I played and it came. And so while I was waiting for the world, the physical world, to get on board with moving me along in my finances, another doorway opened. Now, this is not to say I advocate gambling. I want people to spend their money. But I want you to just know that if you are open to something else coming through the door, there is an infinite amount of abundance that's available to you. There are spigots and streams that come to us. And the story continues to go that for months, this is how I cared for myself. It was kind of unusual. And to this day, we all talk about how the universe will give me these little snippets of numbers, right? Or you'll hear me tell someone, last week I told someone on air, one of those numbers that is close to you is coming. And so I got the Facebook message today from her. It was Denise, and she said, oh, I got my number. You said it was coming, right? She made sure she played it. She got her number. So, again, just be open for something unexpected. Do we want to go to our sister? Do we want to ask others for help? No, we don't. But sometimes we have to put ourselves in a place of humbleness and surrender and allow, because you've always been the one who's doing giving for everyone else, have you not, Alberta?
Yes.
Okay. So sometimes the universe wants us to know that we have to allow others to do for us. And we're not asking anyone to support you, but if we need a helping hand, that's what helping hands are for. Because your hand has been out for thousands from what I see. And so now it's time for you to receive. So I know your conversation was heard. I know what we've just said and programmed into the universe was heard. And I really feel like the next 3 weeks can make a big difference. I know you've been hanging on. I also want you, they're showing me your resume. Better than them showing me the toilet, as they did in the beginning of the conversation. They're showing me your resume. And they're saying, take a look. Maybe we need to re-strategize, restructure. Maybe we need to word it differently. Maybe we need to target a different role. Perhaps there's a little age discrimination going on. What's missing here? So we want to make sure that we can really present ourselves in the best possible light. Yes, I hear you. What is it?
Well, that was the thing, with my job. I felt like that was, part of it. And I'm waiting to hear I'm waiting to hear back from the EEOC. Well, they did take the case, but I was hoping to have it wrapped up this month, I'm hoping.
Okay.
Do you see that coming to a closure?
Well, things with the EEOC do take time. I do see it taking a little more time, so I don't know that it'll be wrapped up in April. They have to do their due diligence. Interesting that Spirit pointed me in the energy of age discrimination, because that's what I feel is kind of holding you back. So just know that that's an IOU from the universe and focus on moving forward.
Okay.
Don't focus on what happened, because if we put our attention on the fact that we were discriminated against or we went through something that's unjust, remember earlier I said the universe has divine justice. So I want you to command divine justice and have the universe open up a new door. When the EEOC gets everything together and they say, okay, this wasn't treated fairly, you owe her this severance, because anyone who would treat you that way, we don't really want to go back. We don't want that. We want to create a new life. Because if they did it to you once, they will do it again.
Right.
So let the EEOC settle it for you. Yes.
I have one question, then I'll be done. I really want, I think I shared this with you the last time that we spoke. I really want to open up my own business, and tomorrow I'm going to meet with the owner of this particular building that I'm trying to acquire. Do you see this meeting going in my favor?
Well, I do feel it can be a beneficial meeting, but I'm going to caution you. I just said earlier we're in Mercury retrograde. So I don't want you agreeing or signing anything until after the 23rd. And even then, we've got that shadow or lag, as our friend Stacey Holler of Our Destiny and the Stars Astrology would tell us, right? So we know it's not the best time to start anything new, but it's a good time to do your due diligence. It's a good time to reflect. It's a good time to get ready. You know, it's going to be based on what you are looking to present in that space and the affordability of it all, right? And remember, we're in a place where we're trying to borrow from Peter and Paul and Mary, and nobody's picking up the phone. So can I see a business for you? I do. Could this EEOC closure kind of help facilitate your own business? It can. So there's much to happen, but I feel like April is still a slow, wobbly month. Remember, I said I kind of see things moving in 3 weeks. So that'll pretty much take us at the end of April into the beginning of May. But I do see that this is going to be a good conversation, and I want you to be prepared, and I want you to be as straightforward and direct in what your intentions are, so that you, even though we're a little wobbly behind the scenes, you have your act together in the conversation. So do that and be recognized. Remember, you're one with the universe. So when you walk in, you're like, I am one with the universe. I am one with divine universal flow. I am one with abundance. And then you walk in the door to have your meeting, because you have then connected to the universe. You have pulled in that energy. And you know, you can go back onto Facebook and you can hear this, so you can quickly jot down your notes, and that's your power statement. I say to anyone and everyone trying to create something, to say that you're one with the universe and the divine universal flow, to claim the abundance of the universe and ask it to come upon you. This is a powerful time for all of us. And you have a lot of power behind you. This is a year of abundance, even though I know we started in a deficit. This is a year of a new beginning for work, a new career, a business. This is what the energy is highly charged to support. And it's highly charged to support the closer we get to your birthday, Alberta, and from your birthday all the way into next year. So you are just building up the momentum. So ain't no stopping you now, honey. All right. Thank you so much for a great conversation. We greatly appreciate your call. I know many of our listeners were all supporting you. We've all been in our tough little snafu spot. We send you much love on this journey, and keep us posted.
Thank you. I will.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Bye for now. Bye. 866-972-7247. We're going to pop back onto the phone lines, and I've got to go to Gina. Gina is in West Palm Beach. Gina, how are you tonight?
Hi, Sarah. I'm good. How are you?
I am great. Good to make this connection with you. It's really interesting that the universe is asking you to take a look, to really take a good look at what you want your life to be like, what you want to shift, because this year represents great expansion for you. And it represents a soul journey for you. It represents you stepping into your soul, your purpose, your mission, and really defining the aspects of your purpose. Is that something you're looking to do, kind of create some shift for your career so that you are pacing yourself to something that's destiny?
Yes, 100%.
And when we look at that energy and we face that new beginning for you, because I see it as a whole new beginning, I feel like they want you to further advance a study, a learning, because I do feel there's like a shift in how you started and where you want to go. Is that also true in the job environment, please?
Yes, of course.
So what is the question for me tonight?
So I've had so much change in my life within the last couple of months. Really, it's been like in my face. But actually, I recently came to you for a reading a couple months back, and we were talking about my true love finally coming into my life. And you suggested that I came back to you once I meet someone to see if it's him so I don't waste my time. And I'd like to know if there's any messages from Spirit in regards to my relationship with him.
Someday he'll come along, the man I love. So what is the birthday of this person?
7/18.
Ah, very interesting person. Yes, very intricate, very dynamic, has a lot of sensibility and sensitivity as well. And you're really feeling that there's a good synergy between the two of you. Yes, this is a relationship that we want to pursue. We want to get to know, because he too has his wounds. And he's also focused on building something for his work, his business at this time. Is that also true?
Yes.
And this growth that I see for him is kind of taking a little bit of his attention. So if there's a day or a time or a moment that you feel neglected or not seen or heard, and he's directing his intentions to his work, allow him that, because in that time that he's building, know that you're building your business, your brand, which has actually been picking up and growing on a nice steady pace. Is that also true?
Yes, very true. I'm happy about it too.
And I'm seeing great success. And is there a new methodology for hair or something new that you're taking on? Be it I don't even know what to say, collagen or no, keratin. That's the word I'm looking for. Keratin or is it keratin?
Yes.
Perfect. So you're taking on these new skill sets will offer diversity to the services that you can offer people. You will give you the opportunity to, of course, increase the revenue, have multiple services for the same person. So that just keeps them coming back for more, honey. So I see great success. I do like the vibe of this person that we are dating. I do know that is relatively new, correct?
Yes, very new.
Like 3 weeks, 4 weeks, something like that?
I've met him a couple times. Like a few months back, I actually met him, but I've only been talking to him for a couple weeks. Yes.
Okay. Yeah, they're giving me the number 3. Feels like 3 weeks, and we want to get to know him. There's a aspect of him that he keeps. You know how we all have that part of like ourselves that we kind of keep a little private. We don't talk about. When he opens up, then we know that he is comfortable. He likes to feel people out and be comfortable. So at times you find him a little quiet, yes?
Yes.
Okay. So let him gain feeling comfortable. I feel like it's a good get to know you time. And we will know further based on personal likes and how we handle things and how advanced both of you are and committed to your spiritual development and your relationship development, your emotional growth. We will know more by June, whether we're going to put him as our top contender in the journey of the man I love. And so enjoy this time. Spirit did say we saw someone. So whether he's the door opener or the star of the show, we're going to know more by June, Gina. Thank you so much for calling and reminding me that, you know, we have met before. I greatly appreciate that. And thank you for the call.
Okay. Thank you so much, Sarah.
You're welcome. Keep us posted. Bye for now.
Okay.
Bye. Bye. 866-972-7247. We're going to take a minute to hear from our sponsors. And then when we come back, we've got to go back to the phone lines. We've got calls all across the nation, and I want to hear from you. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Do you know me? Do I know you? Have we met before? I've been standing in Did you call me with
Stay tuned for more Spiritually Speaking with Sarah, coming up right after the break. Continue the conversation with Sarah Spiritual on Facebook and YouTube. The phone lines are open too. 866-9-SARAHS. That's 866-972-7247.
Sarah Spiritual is a gifted spiritual advisor and medium. She can connect you with your loved ones, your spirit guides, and ascended beings. Sarah specializes in love, relationships, money, career, health, and healing. She has an uncanny ability to convey the true thoughts and emotions of those around you. Just call 561-682-0956 for your personal reading. Life is a spiritual journey, and each situation has a spiritual solution. Just contact Sarah for a personal reading today. 561-682-0956. 561-682-0956. Or visit sarahspiritual.com. Or that number one more time, 561-682-0956. Let Sarah Spiritual and Spirit raise you up.
Come visit the Expedito Enlightenment Center for an extensive array of spiritual products, crystals, books, classes, readings, and healing services in a beautiful spiritual oasis. You must visit the Expedito Enlightenment Center in West Palm Beach. Come feel the energy and explore our unique products. Arrange for your own personal spiritual reading with Sarah Spiritual for spiritual insight. The Expedito Enlightenment Center is located at 4047 Okeechobee Boulevard, Suite 129 in West Palm Beach. Call 561-682-0955. Visit online at expeditoenlightenmentcenter.com. That's EXPEDITO enlightenmentcenter.com for yourself. Or for a thoughtful gift, there's no better place to visit than the Expedito Enlightenment Center in West Palm Beach. Call 561-682-0955 or visit online at expeditoenlightenmentcenter.com.
You are listening to Spiritually Speaking with Sarah, your spiritual advisor and medium. Connect with Sarah Spiritual and be in the energy of light. Call right now, Sarah Spiritual, at 866-9-SARAHS. That's toll free, 866-972-7247. Just ask your questions or message Sarah Spiritual live on Facebook and YouTube.
Standing in the room before I walk through the door. Do you know me? Have you heard me? Have you seen me? Do you know my voice? Did you call me with your song? Because you know that you know me.
Because you know that you know me, I am Sarah Spiritual, and you are listening to Spiritually Speaking with Sarah all across the nation at 866-972-7247. Let's get our Facebook questions ready because we're going to take one more from our phone lines, and then we're popping over to Facebook. If you haven't joined the conversation on Facebook or popped in your question on YouTube, I want to hear from you. So let's go to our phone lines, and I've got Angela, and Angela is in Plantation. Angela, how are you tonight?
Hi, Sarah. Hello, everyone. I'm well, thank you.
Good. And Angela, do me a favor, just speak up just a tad for me, please.
Sure. Okay.
So, Angela, we're talking to the universe, and what's your question for the universe?
I have just been attempting to stay in a place of surrender I know that I'm in a healing. I have been sensing that there may be some restrictions in my stomach or in my throat. Could be thyroid or scar tissue. I wasn't entirely sure, but I did want to follow up with doctor's appointments maybe in the upcoming month to get some clarity. Maybe if you can bring any further insight.
Yes, I will. And we'll step into the energy, the healing energy of Archangel Raphael. I was just kind of charting out your energy and kind of tuning into the chakra system. So interestingly enough, one of the things they're talking about is you're not feeling grounded. So there's some grounding energy that we are encouraging you to do. And we want you to go outside. We want you to be in nature, put your feet, be barefoot. We want you to put your hands on the tree, breathe in the energy, exhale through your palms, allow the energy to go through the trunk of the tree, through the branches or palm fronds as we have here in South Florida. We want you to breathe, and we want you to be on Mother Earth. There are also they're becoming rather popular, these grounding mats that begin to alleviate a lot of inflammation in the body. I'm seeing inflammation in your body, and I'm also feeling that when we get to the throat chakra, besides there being something inflamed there in the thyroid chakra, throat chakra, the thyroid, the vocal cords, in this energy, where I also see it here is that there's a blockage of something that we need to say or something we haven't been able to articulate. And it may be because it's not the right time or we have to say it just right. But Angela, we're holding back something that we haven't really said or we want to say. Is there something that we're holding back at this time?
Not that I'm aware of. I've been speaking quite openly inside of circles and group settings amongst different, sometimes what would seem challenging. I've been attempting to make sure that the communication is clear, reiterating what I'm trying to share and what people are hearing from me, because I'm aware of the Mercury season.
Correct, but
so
let me pause
you.
Let me pause you. Who in your life have you not spoken your truth to that you need to express a sense of hurt, a sense of dissatisfaction, or you need to be heard expressing yourself of something that we haven't really told them? What has yet to be healed in communication? Because you are a way shower, you are a healer yourself, you are a messenger, you're here to assist others. But there's a little more assistance you need to give to you. And if it doesn't come to mind at this moment, sit with Spirit and allow it to come. There's something that we need to say to someone to release. A word they give me is a bondage, a tie, a cord. Like I feel like something's tied here on your neck. Now, we all know that when the chakras are out of alignment, that it does begin to impact our health. And I do believe that you can rectify a lot of this through whatever medical suggestion comes, but more importantly, through your diet, changing some of the inflammatory items that may still be in your diet. I know you're very conscious of what you consume and very conscious of your body. They're making me aware of that. But I want you to ask Archangel Raphael to give you a stream of light, a green flame of energy to come pulsating through the top of your head and straight down your spine, hitting all of the chakra points, going through your third eye, going through your throat chakra, going through your heart chakra, going through your solar plex, and all the way down, and just feeling that energy pulsating through and illuminating and transforming everything in your body that's less than perfection. And repeat and repeat and repeat and repeat so that we are pulsating the energy. There will be something that we need to adjust in something having to do with the thyroid, but I'm not a doctor, cannot diagnose, and I'm not really feeling it's something that is going to necessarily lead to any kind of medication. Could be an option, yes, and that's something a physician will discuss with you. That's why I want you to do some research in how you can heal yourself. And when I look at that, you know, as you're in this journey of making your appointment and going to the doctor, I encourage you to look into the writings of the medical medium, Anthony Williams. He will help you with some suggestions of things that you can prepare for yourself that will help balance the body. There's also a tie and a hiccup in the solar plexus area, which kind of takes me into the stomach, the upper region of the stomach. And so some of what we may be feeling in the throat also may be coming up from the stomach. Are we having any indigestion, anything that is kind of backing up there in that area, please?
I am currently on an Ayurvedic integral cleanse. So my cleanse will probably come to an end about the 14th.
Okay.
It's been going for the last 10 days. And that's when we just follow a very strict diet, a very strict system, skin brushing, yoga, breathing, breath work, a lot of different aspects to it.
Beautiful.
So that's what I've currently been doing. And it's during that time that I have sensed that maybe there was a thyroid issue. I have looked to Dr. Atkins, and he had suggested a supplement, a thyroid supplement. I'm not too keen on the medical doctor's prescriptions.
That's fine.
So I was looking forward to some alternatives.
Correct.
Maybe with an increase of iodine in my system.
So very, very much so. And we also want to get to the root cause, right? Because when we get to the root cause, then the problem ceases, right? So, but we're grateful for the ability to solve these things, at least from the medical perspective. But when we get to the root cause, then we kind of heal it once and for all, and it doesn't become like, well, a weed that even though you kind of pull it out, if you don't get it from the very base of the root, it's going to be popping right back in a very short time. So you're doing all the right things. The supplements sound fabulous. The Ayurvedic cleanse is right along the lines of what I would suggest. I do suggest that you do some research on the medical medium, Anthony Williams, because he has some daily things that you can do that are not quite cleansing at such a rigorous pace as you're doing with your Ayurvedic pace of healing, but it'll definitely keep you sustained and help continue the healing process. You are on your way to making these changes, and you also are on your way to making a difference in other people's lives. So keep speaking your truth. Trust that the universe is coming to support you, and that when we look at where you are now and we see this frequency, we know that you're really stepping into a better balance and order in your life. Things have a better flow. You're one with the universal flow. And as we take you towards the end of the year, Angela, the best power that I see here is going to be your power to be so creative and so inspired that that's going to really ramp you up for a fabulous 2025. I hope that we have answered your questions this evening.
You have indeed, Sarah. I appreciate,
thank you,
value, and love the energy that you create in the space. So thank you again.
My pleasure. Thank you so much, and keep us posted on the journey. Bye for now.
Thank you.
866-972-7247. We're going to continue with our phone calls in just a moment, but I've got some friends on Facebook and YouTube that we just want to say hey to, and we want to answer your questions. And we're very grateful for everyone who's listening to us all across the nation, especially our friends here on our local stations at 95.3, 96.9, and 95.9, 106.9, 103.HD3, and of course our friends in Miami at 104.3. So we're grateful for all of you. Thank you. If you're just popping in and you're saying, what's going on this station? You're listening to Spiritually Speaking with Sarah. That's where every Wednesday night you have the opportunity to call in and ask questions, life's questions, some more simple, some more complicated than others. And I have the pleasure of tuning in, tapping in, and seeing what the universe, what the divine has for all of you. And we've been doing this for coming on 15 years. We're almost at our 15-year mark. We'll be talking about celebrations in the weeks and months to come. But this show is show number 723 live shows, so we're really glad to be here to be of service to you. So let's pop in and let's see what's going on Facebook. I got to see my friends. All right, we've got Carolina Garcia, and she says, hello. She gives me her birthday. What message the Spirit has for me? She's feeling not necessarily empty, but neutral, and it doesn't make sense. And she doesn't feel excitement, nor does she feel sadness. She's just being. She's just existing. So Carolina Garcia, very interesting statement that you're making, and really a time for you to be in a bit of a respite, almost like you're being the hermit. You're going in and hunkering down for the changes to come. And you're a little tired of getting your hopes up and nothing coming to pass and things not meeting your expectations. And you're tired of feeling sad and disappointed. And so you've kind of hit that neutral coasting ground for now. It is getting you ready to learn to surrender and not try to push in the physical world, and know that God's got you. The universe has your back. Everything's working out for you. Nothing is being conspired against you. It just, at this point in the physical, is what it is. And so at this point, that's left you feeling not in a satisfied place, but finding the appreciation for where you are. Use this time, Carolina Garcia, to create, to delve into who you are energetically, delve into your creative energy of artistry and expression. Use this time to delve into loving self and know that the universe will bring forth the change. I really feel as we get closer to your birthday, things start to shift, and I know you've waited a long time, so trust the universe has got your back on this one. Thank you, Carolina Garcia, for your YouTube question. We're going to pop over to YouTube and Facebook, take another question before we go back to our phone lines at 866-972-7247. Let's see, do we have anyone else that we want to pop into? We've got Denise Marsh. Denise gives us her information, and she says, I would love to hear an important message from the universe has for me for love and money. So Denise, here's the first step. Money comes and money goes, but when you allow money to just flow and allow it to come and fill your cup, even if you feel you still need more, just by allowing it to come and being in the attitude and energy of gratitude, you will always have more to come. I feel like this is a great year for you to advance yourself, and it is a year of change. So when you ask the question about love, what do we have to change so that we can create a better space in relationship? What can we change so that we can end the cycle that literally takes me back to 2015 and says, where were you, Denise Marsh, in 2015? And what was going on that didn't make you feel supported? And you were going through a shift and a change. And in this time, Denise Marsh, you may have lost yourself through part of the journey. We had a great sense of some power and things in 2018 into 2019, and we've had a bit of a resurgence, but we just haven't got our groove back, as they say. So this year kind of closes out the chapter of disappointments, opens up the year for abundance and for love partnership. Trust that you are really in a good place at this time. Focus your attention and write your intentions down. I suggest you write the next 6 months, what you'd love to see happen. Write it down, hold it in your mind, and visualize it as completed. Take the paper, fold it, stick it off somewhere, and let it be, and watch what comes and manifests, and check back with it in about 3 months. I have a fabulous client who tried this, a young man, and he was like, wow, when I pulled it out, I realized everything I wanted had manifested. Denise, get out of your head, get out of your way, and make it happen. Thanks so much for your great question. Let's see. Let's take one more from Facebook and YouTube before I go to my friends on my phone lines. Let's see who we've got. We have Lilia Rose. So Lilia Rose, let's see if we can make it a little easier for me to read there. Lilia Rose says, do I see her getting accepted at her school as a transfer, or am I meant to try again for the master's program. She's scared and she's not feeling good enough. And so Lilia Rose is feeling a little bit out of sorts. So Lilia Rose, when I look at your birthday, the interesting thing I see here is that this year is the year for you to make these changes of creativity and make the changes to invest in yourself. And I feel as if there's an acceptance for you at FSU. I know that they're very stringent, and there's something that I feel like we were falling short of it before. And I feel like we may have just met the deadline just like that. You should be hearing from them soon. I wouldn't want to say you're meant to try again. I want you to see yourself receiving that letter. We don't want to put that negativity in it. I do feel that being scared is only going to hurt the vibration of what you're manifesting. You are good enough. You are worthy. There's just a criteria, and sometimes the criteria is a little difficult to meet because of all the different candidates coming who are interested in participating, and they have a particular number of people they can accept at any given time. In no way, shape, or form does that determine your worth. And often, some of these selections have a bit of some randomness. It's not always just, oh, this person's the most qualified. They have other random reasons why they select the people that they do. So you tell yourself, I am one with the universe supports me, and I am going to be selected. And let's see if we get that letter in the next 3 to 4 weeks. Thanks so much, Lilia Rose. Keep us posted on this one. I can't wait to hear what happens. Bye for now. We're going to go back to our phone lines at 866-972-7247. And we've got to go to West Palm Beach. I've got Gary. Gary's been on hold for a little bit. Gary, how are you tonight?
Yes. Hi. Oh, man. I'm nervous, but yeah, I'm in a weird place right now, actually, in life. But I'm glad to be on.
Well, good. We're glad you're here. We're not happy you're in a weird place, but you know what? We've all been in a weird place, Gary. And when I see this journey for you, I've got to take you back, and it's been a bit of an interesting roller coaster, but when I take you back to, I got to go back to 2019 into 2020. This kind of started some shifts in unusual journeys for you. Is that true? And then 2020 was a difficult year for you, Gary. Is that also true?
Yeah, it involved caregiving for my parent.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of kind of trauma in and around the situations going on with her health, and
yes.
How I wasn't really prepared for a lot of things that were coming about.
Yes.
Not only with her, but just in life. Yeah.
And also the people around you, right? I don't feel like you were being supported.
What's
Is that also true, Gary? You weren't feeling supported in this time?
No, not in the way that I was hoping for. I felt if there was support, I felt like it was kind of a toxic situation.
Yeah.
And it just kind of kept unraveling from there.
Yeah. And they also tell me that you were almost like the fall guy for all the fallout. Yes? And is this female energy, mother energy, please?
Well, there's two female components in the whole scenario, but yeah, definitely who I was caregiving for was mother.
Yes, and mother has passed, correct?
She passed last year, yeah.
Yes, because they're making me aware that mother passed, right? And mother's with you. And mom had a very interesting personality. Sometimes she could be a little tough. Is that also true?
She was brutally honest at times, sometimes not. Very direct in how she approached guidance.
Yes.
Yeah, she could be very rough.
Yeah, my guides say she was a tough cookie, Sarah, right? So that's how mom's presenting herself to us in the energy. And, you know you did the best you could with what you had, Gary, and no one can really be prepared because we don't know what's going to come of it, right? In the final days of someone in their health crises, it calls upon us to know and asks us to do things we're not prepared for. And I feel like there was conflict with people around you, be it a sibling or something. There was just a lot of drama that didn't need to be. Is that also true?
Very true.
Okay.
There's a lot of there was a lack of support, and then there was a lot of trauma brought into the home by a sibling. Yeah.
But I'm going to tell you this: it's time for you to start your life again. I feel like you put your life on hold for quite a very long time, yes? And now it's time for you to get started, and it's kind of scary to kind of rev yourself back up and get yourself back on track. We have about 2 minutes. What is your burning question for me, Gary?
Oh my gosh. I feel definitely in a place where the traumatic grief has got me stuck, and I'm currently in the same apartment that I shared with my parent and my mom, and I have a situation with this apartment that I'm not sure like how bad the situation is. It's stuff that I've let go of, and I need to approach the I need to have important communications coming up with the person who owns, and I just don't know how to approach it, what is all kind of sort of like what's my next move of like relocation,
Correct.
living arrangement. I'm
Correct.
like very much worried about my finances and living
Yes.
where I'm at, and I feel like I'm trying to get in tune with the universe, if that makes sense. Like
it does.
I have a belief, and I just don't. I feel like it's like there's a receptor that's not working, that I'm blocked in many ways or stuck. And
Right,
I'm not
and
sure
that's
if it's
great.
the grief or what.
Great analogy. Yes, it is grief, and there's some guilt and some shame, like you feel like you weren't good enough, you didn't do enough, and you did do enough. And the current time to have the conversation with the person connected to the place that you reside is going to be towards the end of this month, beginning of next month. I don't feel like it's necessarily good for you to stay there. My guides say that move will be a better choice for you. So for you to begin to take a look at where would I go, how do I reinvent myself, how do I kind of work on my career, because you really haven't worked on enough for Gary. So these next 3 weeks, I want Gary to write down what Gary would love to create for himself and take a look at where ideally you would love to live. And it's just a feeling. It's not that we have to say, oh, it's going to happen, because the minute you go, well, how am I going to do that, Sarah Spiritual? You're going to close off the energy. Tell the universe ideally what you would love it to be like, where you would like to live, what you'd like it to look like. You need to be free of the energy of the caretaking of your mom and all of that heaviness that's around that place. We need a redo. We need to come out of the box and the trap that you feel as if you're in. For this minute, Gary, they're kind of waving me off so that I can go to commercial. How did you hear about the show?
From going to the shop, from going to Expedito.
Perfect.
It's how I first heard of the show.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, then I'm sure you and I can continue this conversation. Continue following the show. We'd love to hear from you. Wait a few weeks. Write down what you want to create. And then you can have the conversation with the person who's of ownership of that place and begin to fantasize, imagine what it would be like to be somewhere else. We've got to go to commercial.
Really quickie?
We've got to go to commercial. I'm sorry. We've got to go, Gary. I apologize. All right. Thanks so much, Gary. All right. Bye for now. We're going to take a minute to hear from our sponsors, a very important sponsor break that has to happen now. Stay with us, everyone. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned for more Spiritually Speaking with Sarah, coming up right after the break. Continue the conversation with Sarah Spiritual on Facebook and YouTube. The phone lines are open too. 866-9-SARAS. That's 866-972-7247.
The opinions expressed on the preceding sponsored program were strictly those of its host, guests, and callers, and not necessarily those of this station, its staff, management, or sponsors.
WSFS 104.3 HD3 Miramar, WIRK 103.1 HD3 Indiantown, and heard in Broward on 96.9 FM, Boca Raton on 95.3 FM, West Palm Beach on 95.9 FM, and in Martin County on 106.9 FM. Programming paid for by Vic Canales Media Group. We are South Florida's home for the True Oldies Channel.
Hi, I'm Sarah Spiritual, the founder of the Expedito Enlightenment Center. I would love for you to visit me at my spiritual oasis located at 4047 Okeechobee Boulevard in the Tree of Life Plaza in West Palm Beach. Come, feel the energy, sample my spiritual sprays and oils, participate in one of my spiritual development classes, and have a personal reading with me, Sarah Spiritual. Let's see what Spirit has to say. You can call the Expedito Enlightenment Center at 561-682-0955. Not local? Visit me, Sarah Spiritual, at sarahspiritual.com for products, classes, and to book your personal session.
Sarah Spiritual is a gifted spiritual advisor and medium. She can connect you with your loved ones, your spirit guides, and ascended beings. Sarah specializes in love, relationships, money, career, health, and healing. She has an uncanny ability to convey the true thoughts and emotions of those around you. Just call 561-682-0956 for your personal reading. Life is a spiritual journey, and each situation has a spiritual solution. Just contact Sarah for a personal reading today. 561-682-0956. 561-682-0956. Or visit sarahspiritual.com. Or that number one more time, 561-682-0956. Let Sarah Spiritual and Spirit raise you up.
Come visit the Expedito Enlightenment Center for an extensive array of spiritual products, crystals, books, classes, readings, and healing services in a beautiful spiritual oasis. You must visit the Expedito Enlightenment Center in West Palm Beach. Come feel the energy and explore our unique products. Arrange for your own personal spiritual reading with Sarah Spiritual for spiritual insight. The Expedito Enlightenment Center is located at 4047 Okeechobee Boulevard, Suite 129 in West Palm Beach. Call 561-682-0955. Visit online at expeditoenlightenmentcenter.com. That's EXPEDITO enlightenmentcenter.com for yourself. Or for a thoughtful gift, there's no better place to visit than the Expedito Enlightenment Center in West Palm Beach. Call 561-682-0955 or visit online at expeditoenlightenmentcenter.com.
This show is furnished by Sarah Spiritual.
The content, information, and opinions expressed during the related show are those of the show personalities and guest alone, and not those of Vic Canales Media Group, its parent, affiliates, or stations. VCMG Live is not responsible for any content, information, or opinions expressed. User bears full responsibility for their reliance on such content, information, or opinions.
Welcome back to the next hour of Spiritually Speaking with Sarah, as we continue our uplifting and empowering spiritual discussion to transform your life. A gifted spiritual advisor, coach, and medium, Sarah Spiritual will assist you to connect to the light within and transcend beyond the limits of all experience and knowledge. We have another hour to listen and call in 866-9-SARAS. That's 866-972-7247. And watch Sarah Spiritual live on Facebook and YouTube, and you can share the love and light.
It's just not easy to be who we want to be. 'Cause the world is changing now. We can't walk the way we did. We don't know the path. We have to listen to our heart. The ways that worked before, they don't work anymore. We have lost our love for everyone. We have hurt each other. The world is changing now. It's asking us to move along, to open up a different way of loving one another. We can't stay the same. We've lost the game of life.
Yes, we've lost the game of life, but there's so many more games to play in the game of life. So let's get back in the game, everyone, and let's do our best. And know that you are always supported, always guided, always protected by the universe. And the universe is here to answer your questions. 866-972-7247. And if you're just joining us, you're listening to Spiritually Speaking with Sarah. You can find us here every Wednesday night from 6:30 to 9 p.m. We've got Calvin Cates coming back to the center. He'll be joining us April 19th and 20th for Crystal Healing Bed. And the Crystal Healing Bed is here to assist you in balancing your chakras, healing your energy spiritually, emotionally, and physically. You can learn more about the Crystal Healing Bed by going to the Expedito Enlightenment Center.com. That's EXPEDITO, Expedito Enlightenment Center.com. And there you can actually reserve a spot, a 20-minute or a 30-minute segment of Calvin Cates healing. So we'd love to have you join us. And then we have some other healers that are coming on board. So if you're not on my mailing list, go to sarahspiritual.com and click the button that says join the newsletter so that you are in it to know everything that's coming up. We've got some cool things on the horizon, and we know it's going to be powerful. Let's go back to our phone lines, and I've got to go to Carmen, and Carmen is in Port St. Lucie. Carmen, how are you?
Hi, Sarah. Good. How are you?
I'm doing well, Carmen. Could you just speak up a bit? You sound like you're a little far away from me.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
That's quite all right, Carmen.
Can you hear me better now?
I hear you perfectly. Thank you so much. So, Carmen, are you ready to get out of the maze? Ready to get out of the same old, same old? Are you really looking to explore these gifts once and for all?
I sure am.
And there's great openings of connections with Spirit coming. You felt that you've become more connected to Spirit. You're kind of feeling some more messages from Spirit. Is that true?
Yes, I'm feeling a divine push.
Ah, the divine push. Well, you know, sometimes that's been known to knock people on their butts, so you better follow the push. When Spirit gives you a nudge, go in the direction that they nudge you. And you're also feeling a little bit burnt out from the JOB. Is that also true?
Absolutely.
They kind of got you where they want you right now, right? You're just kind of getting hit from all ends, and you're like the little duck in the shooting gallery. You don't know where to duck first, right? Well, this is a time for you to evaluate life, take a look at where you are, and set the timing, set the goal. Where would you like to be 2 years from now? You see, 2 years from now offers you the opportunity to have a whole new career. What would that be like? Could you imagine? How could that feel for you? This is a great opportunity for you. It's a powerful time for you to give yourself permission to do what you feel called to do, not what you feel like you have to do. Now, I know, I hear it in my head. There are bills, there are things, there are responsibilities, but we have to trust the universe will take care of everything in the process of you getting to where you want to go. So, Carmen, the energy's ripe. What is your burning question for me?
The burning question is, I am on the little hamster wheel.
Yeah.
And work is just getting incredibly insane. I don't feel like it's going to get any better. Okay. And I just want to know if this really is a good time to just start looking and to move on, because it's not going to get any better.
Yeah. Well, barring the fact that we're in Mercury retrograde, we don't advise you to, start anything now, but it's a good time to look, right? Because you're in a good position. Yeah. You can look from where you are. You don't have to go. No one's pushing you out. So you have the ability to choose where you want to go and when you can go. So you determine that. You determine your future. Because I feel as if this job is draining you of all your other energies so that you don't have the energy to not only enjoy life, but to invest in your spiritual journey the way you would like to. You can't really act on the promptings from spirit because from what I see, you're working more than your average 8-hour day. Is that also true?
Absolutely true.
Yeah. Carmen, change is coming. Take a look. And we need to write down on a piece of paper. My spirit guides want everybody writing tonight. Write down, I am the woman who has attracted a new opportunity. And this opportunity affords me flexibility, harmony, peace, and abundance, right? So like it's creating the life that you'd like. And I'd write a dollar amount that we want to get paid. So basically, write down what you want your check to be and create that energy.
Okay.
And that will help you attract the job that's meant for you. See, my guides make me feel, and I'm not familiar with exactly what you do, although I have a general idea, but it's kind of like a bit of a little niche that you're in. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, I kind of do a lot of things.
Right, but you kind of have a little, your company is kind of like in a little niche.
Yeah.
Yes, like a little specialized. Thank you. Okay. So do we want to say in something as specialized, or do we want to open up to something even more inviting?
Oh, yeah. I've worked in different aspects of my job, so I mean, I'm willing to do something. A lot of it is basically the same in other places.
I understand. A number's a number, no matter where you go. Yes.
Yeah.
But I want you to.
But yeah, it doesn't have to be like in the same industry that I'm in now.
Correct. So look and see what other opportunities are in your industry, and then look outside the industry and see what is going to give you. For sure, the comparable pay, if not the increase that we desire. Yes, that's because we're looking for not just a work-life balance, but to get paid for our efforts. And I don't feel like you're being rewarded. And I feel as if where you work, there's a cap on it, and it's like they can't give you more. Yeah. Not just because they may be a little stingy. They can't give you more because of outside forces that don't really allow them to compensate, even if you are the top performer. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Carmen, trust that this is a year of change. This is a year to break the routine. And you can make this move, and then you can reinvent yourself even further between now and 2026. And now, no, I did not say you're staying at your job till 2026. I'm just saying the complete reinvention of Carmen will be complete and will be in a much better place for you. We appreciate your calling into the show, Carmen. We appreciate your following us and being a part of our community. We greatly appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you so
You're
much.
welcome.
Appreciate it. Bye.
All right, bye. 866-972-7247. We're going to go back to the phone lines, and I've got Kamini, and from Florida, we are going to New York. Kamini, how are you tonight?
Hey, Sarah, how are you?
I'm doing great, Kamini. Good to connect with you again, and thank you for following the show. I know that you've been a part of the show for a very long time, and so we're most appreciative of your listening and participating. So what is the burning question today in the changes and the shifts that I see coming for you? This year is a year of closures and making moves to make the changes that you want. What's your question for us?
I just don't know why, like, I'm not, like, meeting anyone. Like, I haven't met anyone for a long time, and I just don't know if it's me, if I'm spiritually blocked, like, what's going on in the love department.
Well, there was quite the derailment and the lingering of like a year and a half of feeling hurt in your last relationship, correct?
Yeah.
And I feel like some of that hurt is still with you. Some of that hurt is still kind of within your being. And so your angels want you to do some healing work and do some work around your worthiness. Because the block inside of you is whether you feel lovable or worthy. The few you have attracted have been just not showing up for you in any fashion that is, well, what you deserve. And when you kind of try to approach a connection with someone, they're just not connecting in the way that you would love a relationship to be. I also feel, Kamini, that we're not getting out, we're not meeting enough people. I feel like the dating pool from where you are looking is not the best dating pool. Where are we shopping for a partner these days?
Not much, really. I'm just, like, doing what I need to do, and then I just come home, and that's pretty much it.
All right. So you're either going to date an Amazon driver, a UPS delivery person, a FedEx person. Those are your options. You know, can't be the milkman because they don't deliver milk. Maybe the post office guy, if he gets a knock on your door. So I'm being silly, but how do we increase our odds? What can we do? Is there a meetup group in your local area that perhaps you can join that does different activities? What's going on in your community in New York that you can participate in to get you out and about so you can have a random meeting of someone? You know, I know we can't all always afford to every weekend go out to dinner or go out to a bar and meet people and talk to people, but there are some activities that we can do that we can strike up conversations with people. Perhaps, you know, I heard on the news actually today, it was kind of interesting. Since everyone was so busy on online dating and everything kind of got very, well, not personal in the dating world because of the past 4 years and people kind of being separate, there was a lot of online dating, and that, well, we all know how that went, right? So online dating has its moments, and we've had a lot of success stories, but we hear a lot of horror stories. Well, they're talking about speed dating is kind of picking up now again. So you may look to see where is there a speed dating event that you could participate in. And speed dating is when you get to, it's really kind of fascinating, when you get to sit across from someone for about 15 minutes and then you go to the next person and you kind of see if you click in a conversation that's initial or not. And these speed dating events that are being birthed right now, these new versions, are kind of revolved around maybe a karaoke night, maybe a wine tasting. So there's something else going on, and then they kind of match people up and they kind of pair everyone up so that they can go through the line of getting to meet somebody. Almost think of it like the wedding reception line where you get to shake the hands of all the guests, right, and get to talk to them. You get to talk to a potential partner and see if there's that spark, that connection. So something like that sounds like fun, and no pressure. Go with a girlfriend, go with someone, go alone, you'll be fine. And involve yourself in something that gets you out. Because if we're looking for Prince Charming to knock on the door and you didn't leave a glass slipper anywhere, we are out of luck, honey. So really look for someone to go out with, look for something to do, and then trust the universe will put the person in place for you. Now, we're closing out this chapter, and my guides tell me in romance, really the last 4 years have been slacking. And so they want you to know that as we come closer to 2025, that's when things start to open up for you. That's when we see things kind of transforming for you. So you get to stay in the house a little longer, but I need you out soon. I need you out building your momentum. Love is going to come. Remember that you're worthy. Trust that the universe has your back. And try not to come from a place of fear. Step in your power knowing that you have a lot to offer a partner, and be very specific as to what you would love to have in your partner and write it down. And then from that list, carry it with you so that everywhere you go, it becomes the magnet of what you want. And I do suggest that you write down 100 qualities that you want in your partner. I know you know what you don't want, but I want you to focus on what you do want, because what you do want becomes the energy that can best align with the universe. The universe can reverberate and send back that frequency to you much more easily and put you in a better place of grace and blessings. Then, I mean, it will give us back what we don't want if we focus on that, but they don't like to do that in the universe. They want to give us what is in harmony and joy and happiness so that you can be in the energy of divinity and contentment. So just know that all is going to be well, honey. All right? We greatly appreciate your call and your question, and I know your question, well, speaks to many, because many are in your shoes. So claim your power and make it happen. Bye for now.
All right. Thank you. Have a good night.
You too. Bye. 866-972-7247. We've got to go to Francais, and she is in West Palm Beach. Francais, how are you?
Hello.
Hello. How are you doing tonight?
I'm good, Sarah. How are you?
I'm good. Good to connect with you. What is your burning question for us and for the universe tonight?
I want to know what is my spirit guide is trying to tell me, because I don't get it. They've been trying to tell me something, but I cannot grasp it.
Well, there are many spirit guides that are around you. And there's an energy of change that's coming for you. So what are you not changing that needs to be changed? They're trying to get your attention because you have to change something in the pattern of your life that isn't moving, that's stuck, that's stagnant. Something has to change. I'm also seeing the energy of move. Were you considering moving?
Yes.
This is a time for you to give that plan much more consideration and some more action. Because you're waiting for something, but we can't wait forever for something. Sometimes we need to just go for what we want, and we can't wait for all the conditions to line up perfectly. Like, I feel like you're wasting time, and that you're depriving yourself of what could bring you ultimate joy and happiness because you're being a little rigid as to how you want it to unfold. Am I making sense to you?
Yes.
Okay. Love is love. Energy is energy. Flow is flow. When we close ourselves off by saying it has to be a particular way, and we're not open to what the universe is prompting us, I really feel your guides are prompting you to make a change, to not be so structured in your approach of how things have to unfold, to stop coming from a place of fear and everything that's going wrong in your life or all the things that could happen. You need to just sometimes step out in faith and surrender to the universe and, gosh darn, take a chance. Take a chance. We all have opportunities to take a chance. If I didn't take a chance and come to Florida, you and I would not be talking. If you don't take a chance and make the move, you don't know how great it could be. You don't know how wonderful life can unfold for you. Instead, you're being stuck in the same loop over and over and over again. And in the loop you're in the company you're keeping, if I may say, there's a lot of drama. And you can't be all things to all people if you're not doing enough to make yourself happy. Because what I see, what I know, is you're solving everybody's problems, but you're not doing the things necessary to change your life to give you yourself the happiness. I know things aren't perfect in the way you'd like it to unfold, but we have to go now. And trust that. So that's what I'm getting from the guides. I mean, if there's a specific guide that's trying to give you a message and waking you up in the middle of the night, they're not stepping forward to say, hey, tell her this. But your guides, your collective conscious guides, are making me feel that you need to make these changes and you need to move. Move on.
Yeah, the only thing I
shift.
dream about, it was like there was a white seal, you know, when I was going by the beach and he was looking at me. So nothing else.
A white what? What was it?
A seal.
A seal.
S-E-A-L.
Yes. Got it. Okay. It was the accent that had me off by just a little. One moment. I'm like, what? What is she saying? And like, okay, I have to have it with my French accent. Je parle français, oui. Okay, so I had to think in French for a minute and go, seal? Seal. Oh, seal. Okay, I got a seal. Because I'm like, she didn't say bird. What is she talking about? I'm just teasing you. We got to have fun here. So a white seal represents purity, divinity, right? And seals are playful. Yes. Now, what I do know about seals, or I think I know, because my guides are telling me this, so I don't know I have friends who have all this information in their heads, and they amaze me with all the stuff they keep. I got voices in my head, so I don't have room for all that information, but my guides are telling me that seals are best when they're in their couples. Seals are in couples, and they kind of stay together for life. It's kind of like penguins, seals. They spend time together, and they form families. What's missing in your picture? Isn't there some division in the coupling because one's over here and one's over there? Now you got a white seal showing up on a beach going, yo, if you don't get this clue, I can't help you. Get in the water, swim to your mate, move, baby, and get there. Because there's infinite possibilities for you. I know there's a lot to do to make that happen, but that was the story last year. We're in 2024. Make the change. And know that you're being divinely guided and protected, and everything will be all right. Thank you for having fun with us. I greatly appreciate that.
Thank you, Sarah. Appreciate you.
Thank you. All right. God bless you. Bye for now. Bye.
You too. Bye-bye.
866-972-7247. A seal, who would have thought? All right, so we're going to go to our sponsors and take a brief moment, but I want to visit my friends on Facebook and YouTube when we come back, so pop in your questions, and we're going to go back to our phone lines. We've got calls all across the nation. We got Chicago, we got New York, we've got South Florida, so stay with us, everyone. Who knows where we're going to go before the end of the show? We'll be right back.
I've been standing in the room before I walk through the door. Do you know me? Have you heard me? Have you seen me? Do you know my voice? Did you call me with your soul? Because you know that you know me. Every soul has its story.
Stay tuned for more Spiritually Speaking with Sarah, coming up right after the break. Continue the conversation with Sarah Spiritual on Facebook and YouTube. The phone lines are open too. 866-9-SARAS. That's 866-972-7247.
Come visit the Expedito Enlightenment Center for an extensive array of spiritual products, crystals, books, classes, readings, and healing services in a beautiful spiritual oasis. You must visit the Expedito Enlightenment Center in West Palm Beach. Come feel the energy and explore our unique products. Arrange for your own personal spiritual reading with Sarah Spiritual for spiritual insight. The Expedito Enlightenment Center is located at 4047 Okeechobee Boulevard, Suite 129 in West Palm Beach. Call 561-682-0955. Visit online at expeditoenlightenmentcenter.com. That's EXPEDITO enlightenmentcenter.com for yourself. Or for a thoughtful gift, there's no better place to visit than the Expedito Enlightenment Center in West Palm Beach. Call 561-682-0955 or visit online at expeditoenlightenmentcenter.com.
Sarah Spiritual is a gifted spiritual advisor and medium. She can connect you with your loved ones, your spirit guides, and ascended beings. Sarah specializes in love, relationships, money, career, health, and healing. She has an uncanny ability to convey the true thoughts and emotions of those around you. Just call 561-682-0956 for your personal reading. Life is a spiritual journey, and each situation has a spiritual solution. Just contact Sarah for a personal reading today. 561-682-0956. 561-682-0956. Or visit sarahspiritual.com. Or that number one more time, 561-682-0956. Let Sarah Spiritual and Spirit raise you up.
You are listening to Spiritually Speaking with Sarah, your spiritual advisor and medium. Connect with Sarah Spiritual and be in the energy of light. Call right now, Sarah Spiritual, at 866-9-SARAS. That's toll free, 866-972-7247. Just ask your questions or message Sarah Spiritual live on Facebook and YouTube.
Did you call me with your soul? Because you know that you know me.
Did you call me with your soul because you know that you know me? Our souls are all connected in the universe. And I'm so glad we have this time together just to connect and to answer your questions. We still have some more time to share here on Spiritually Speaking with Sarah. Every Wednesday night, you can call in 6:30 to 9 p.m. We're really glad to have this time with you. And we're going to go back to our phone lines at 866-972-7247. But I'm going to do the switcheroo. I want to see what's going on Facebook and YouTube and at least pull a question from my friends on Facebook and YouTube while our phone lines are waiting for us to get to them. Let's see who we have on our Facebook and our YouTube page here. Let's see what we've got. So we have Tammy Masco, and Tammy says she gives me her birthday, and it's her dad's birthday coming tomorrow, and she wants to know if he's watching over her and if he's happy, and is he with her mom. So what I'm seeing here, Tammy, is that you'll feel your dad's energy, and I get the sense you felt him. You kind of felt his kind of touch on your shoulder. He's definitely in the energy around you. I'm also getting this very strong sense of appreciation and gratitude for all that you did. And yes, he's at peace, and yes, he's with your mom. And your mom, who's also expressing gratitude for all that you did. And now they both, in their loving energy, in peace, want you to move forward and to enjoy your life. You have done so much for them. Now it is time to do for yourself and care for self and have some fun in your life. Your father is at peace, and he will definitely be giving you signs over these next few days, these next few weeks, so that you know that you're with him. And if you feel like someone tapped you on the shoulder, it's Daddy, and he wants you to know that he's with you always. Thank you so much, Tammy Masco, for your Facebook question. We greatly appreciate your following the show. We see your name in the Facebook feed often, so we appreciate the fact that you're there. Let's take another question from Facebook and YouTube before I visit all the different states around the country that are calling in to Spiritually Speaking with Sarah. We've got Erin Sagety. Nope, we got Jennifer McWilliams. All right, let's go to Jennifer McWilliams. Jennifer says, my question is, I'd like to know if the universe has a message for me, and I find myself wondering about my life purpose, and I can't see it clearly. Well, Jennifer, here's an interesting thing about you and your life. You are so gifted that you can do just about anything. And this is your year to really tune into more creativity within yourself and to really turn yourself inward so that you can have self-expression and allow that self-expression to inspire and motivate others. You best are equipped to do something that is entrepreneurial, something that is in the front lines of speaking with people, connecting with people. You have a message. You are a way shower. You are here. How do we find the specificity? I'd love to do that with you personally, Jennifer McWilliams. If you go to sarahspiritual.com, we've got a session that says Life Path. So go to sarahspiritual.com and click Life Path. We'd love to explore all that's there for you. But I will tell you, you are a born leader, and in your numerology, you are really a powerful being. Thanks so much for your Facebook question. If you'd like to have a personal session with me, Sarah Spiritual, let me not forget to mention, you can go to Sarah Spiritual, and there you'll see the selection of sessions that I have and how I can best assist you. And also, you'll find my shop. And what's in my shop? Well, online, a smattering of some of the products we have. We have a physical center in West Palm Beach called the Expedito Enlightenment Center. There we host a full supply of metaphysical items, crystals, incense, books, sprays, oils, candles, Buddhas, fairies, saints. We've got it all. Online, I've got a smattering of some of my handmade products at sarahspiritual.com. There you can find mists, oils, you can find baths, you can find little creative items that I have made to help facilitate your spiritual journey. And you can also book a session. I'd love to have a time to connect with all of you, and we are greatly appreciative of everyone who participates in these one-on-one sessions. We appreciate it. We're going to go back to our phone lines at 866-972-7247. I've got to go to Kimberly, and Kimberly is in Deerfield. Kimberly, thank you for holding. How are you?
I'm okay.
Good. Good to connect with you, Kimberly. Is this your first time calling into the show?
No.
Kimberly, what is your question for us?
I recently lost my grandmother within a month, and she was my favorite person.
Your favorite
and
person.
Before she died, I had a dream of something that I didn't know, and it scared me, and it turned out to be true. It came true. And I was wondering, how did that happen? I dreamt of her in the funeral service, and then she died. And I've never had that happen to me before, and I just kind of want a little understanding of why that happened.
Yes.
Or happened to me.
First of all, sorry for the loss of your grandmother. I understand that sentiment, and I know that not only was she your favorite person, she was a piece of you, and she allowed you to be you, and that brought you a lot of comfort. It's a little soon for me to make a direct connection with grandmother because she has just recently passed. And so her energy is settling in, but do know in the transition, there's an energy of peace that surrounds her in this process. And ideally in a few months from now, we can actually connect and get a direct message from her. But I do want you to know this.
Okay.
It was the universe, the angels, your guides preparing you so that you wouldn't be shocked when it happened. They were showing you in a prophetic dream, for lack of a better word, that this was going to come to pass, and it was all in divine order, and it was according to God's plan. It wasn't anything out of the ordinary. It was all part of what was meant to happen to her, so they wanted you to be prepared. And the universe often does this so that we aren't caught off guard. I can tell you this, because you'll understand this, that when my father passed, I don't really, well, back then I didn't even know anything about spirituality or messages from the universe. But I remember the night before he passed, or in the early mornings of my sleeping, I remember dreaming and seeing my father flying in the sky. And I thought it had to do with some skit we had done when I was in musical theater, and we had kind of poked fun at my father and the country club that he had worked at. And I remember someone talked about my father was such a strong person to work for that they would have dreams about him. So I was like, well, that's weird. Why am I dreaming about, I associated it with Timothy, who had done this stand-up skit, kind of really poking fun at my father and what it was like to work at a country club in the summer as a college student. I thought that was strange. Well, of course, a few hours later, I got the phone call that it was my father had passed, and I got to see his spirit leaving the physical world and go to the other side. I didn't know what it was when I got it. But that was a way of him saying goodbye and preparing me. And that was your grandmother's way of saying goodbye and letting you know that all was in divine order, even though we never want to say goodbye.
Right. She raised me, so that's why I was more connected with her.
Yes, and literally she was the person who let you be you.
Yep. And that, you know, I've been losing a lot of people lately, and actually people around me right now that are very, very sick. And I feel kind of like claustrophobic. It's like an overwhelming feeling. And I didn't know why. I'm getting all this around me, people passing, people sick, and it's overwhelming. And I don't know what's going to happen in the next year for me.
Well, it is overwhelming. And what I have found in doing this is, and I think if we all kind of take a step back and we notice, people exit in groups of like soul family groups. So we'll see 4 or 5 people leave, almost one right after the other, right? It's like clumps of people. We notice this sometimes in outside people, like famous people, people all of the same age group. They all start passing, and you're like, well, what's going on, right? Different people in different age groups just exiting the planet. And so what it's really bringing you to is the face of mortality and even your own mortality. And that will make you feel overwhelmed and anxious and almost claustrophobic. What's to come for you is that in this year, this is a year of, well, actually meant to be one of the more difficult years. I can't sugarcoat that. When I look at the energy and where you are in the journey of your soul, this is the year that's a tough year for you. But out of the tough experiences that almost bring you to your knees, you're strong enough, you're resilient, you will pass through this. And then there's this whole new beginning of a new reinvention of you and a better aspect of life for you. But the sad part is some of these people will not be here to celebrate with you. And that, unfortunately, is the story of life. And there's nothing I can do to comfort you about that except for you to know that as these people leave, everything's in divine order. And you're closing out the energy from 2014 to now. So if we look back at 2014 and we say what was going on in your life, what was out of balance there, we're closing out the chapter of happenings and experiences, and now we're journeying on to a new chapter that begins in 2025. And this is meant to be a solid, strong year for you in 2025. I do feel that you will rise above this. The grief can be and will be at moments a little debilitating. Allow it to flow through you. Surrender to the divine and let your tears flow, and know that in that energy, your grandmother's with you. And there's a line in a song that I had that says, I promise there will always be a little spot inside of me, a tiny spot deep in my heart that stays in love with you. And you'll be in love with her forever. So always be with you. There's a spot that grandmother will always hold. And you're not alone. I hope we've been of service to you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Bye for now. 866-972-7247. We've got to go back to our phone lines. I've got Esther. She's deep in the heart of Texas. Texas got kind of cut in half there with that eclipse. Good to know you're still standing, Esther. How's it going for you?
Yes, ma'am. It's not going. How are you, Sarah?
Well, how was the eclipse first? Did you get to see it?
Oh, yeah, it's right in my backyard.
Right in your backyard?
I was right in my backyard. I wasn't enthusiastic about it, but they closed school and daycare and everything, and the kids were fascinated, and we got glasses, so I didn't want to be a party pooper.
Don't be a party pooper.
So I went out and we caught it.
Well, the next time you get to see it is 2044, so, you got to see it this time. So we got a long time from now before we'll see that again. So glad you got to see it, and know that it's meant to bring powerful changes to everyone on the planet, particularly those in America. It's meant to shift and change energy, burning out of the old, changing of the guards and the chapters of the stories of our lives. It's a big thing. And we'll see the effects of this as we move forward over the next few months and see how it impacts us each individually, and also get a sense of the collective picture of what this eclipse does. And we have eclipses all the time, but this one was a particularly powerful one, at least for those of us in America, and I know those of you deep in the heart of Texas. So you said things aren't quite going the way you want, but Esther, this is a time for you to choose and create priorities of what you want to have happen in the next few months. I feel like there's challenges, even at the workplace. Is that true?
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
Definitely, yeah. It's like a hot mess over there, but that's all right. You can rise above it.
I feel like I'm on the verge of a nervous breakdown. I really have to breathe. Let me tell you how I feel. I feel barricaded. You ever seen some spikes around somebody? I feel like I can't finish anything, and I'm thinking, what is this? I just got to be fighting. I mean, it's just so weird. I don't know. I thought 2024 was going to be better. And I intentionally started it better, but I don't know. Everything's just feel like it's falling apart. Man, it's just bad.
Well, some things have to crumble for something new to grow, okay? So it started better, and we may need to let some things kind of fall by the wayside so some new energy can sprout. So if something's feeling like it's crumbling, don't be so crazy to try to put your thumb in the dam and think you're going to stop it from exploding. You're not.
Mm-hmm.
So just whatever's going to crumble, let it crumble, and know you're the phoenix rising from the ashes, and we will begin again. And this year is a year of a soul evolution for you, lining up with your soul, trusting Spirit, trusting God, trusting that the universe has the answers for you. And you've become such a powerful being spiritually that you have the power to shift these perceptions that are going on in your mind. And there are many people who are feeling exactly the way you're feeling stuck, stagnant, like you're tied. I see you as the tarot card that is the person who's blindfolded and tied around some swords with some rope, right? And you're just feeling like you're bound, okay?
Yes.
But it's a temporary experience.
Absolutely.
It is going to
I believe so.
Unravel those cords of, we'll call it negativity, are going to unravel over these next 4 to 5 weeks. So you'll start to feel relief. When I go to your job, I almost feel like, I don't know, like someone's trying to push you out or make you look bad. It's this heavy energy. You're laughing because you're like, oh, Sarah, what are you? Yeah, I'm the elf on the shelf over there. And, I get the sense of difficulties, and that's fine. You can beat them at that game. It's not a bad job, so I don't really want to see you leave the job because someone's trying to push you out. Let the chips fall where they may. Right? Justice is...
That's exactly what's happening.
I know that's what's happening. I spy with my Sarah spiritual eye, right? And let the chips fall where they may, because what goes around comes around.
Amen.
Okay, so just trust.
I spoke to God today,
yes.
and I said, if this is what you want, God, I said, just put me at the right place, even though all of them senior there. I've been there 4 years ahead of them. I said, if this is what you want, put me where I need to be with the right people, because you hit the nail right one. That's what's going on.
Right, but let's can we modify that prayer? Can we have a redo on that one? God, we'll give it to you, God. If that's the universe, God, if that's what you want for her, okay. She put the request in, but let's dial up the Sarah spiritual version of the prayer, Esther. Look, all right. Heavenly Father, we call upon the forces of light to shield and protect Esther in these trials and tribulations, and rise her up above the situation, and do not allow anyone to rob her of the blessings that you have placed upon her, the stability and the financial flow. Protect her and reveal the misconceptions, reveal the lies, and let Esther stand in divine truth and victory in your name. And that's how you do it, Esther. That's how we shift the ship. All right? Because if you've been there 4 years, this little Johnny-come-lately isn't going to come in, stir up a horde of trouble like a bee's nest. I had a little run-in with some bees myself recently, but we don't need the bee's nest to try to drive you out. No, we're going to relocate those bees. Don't want to kill them, but just relocate the bees, God. Right?
I felt confused for a minute, and then something said to me. Spirit said to me last night, look, what happened? She's trying to get you out. She's trying to get your position.
Correct.
I
Correct.
And I said,
Correct.
Uh-oh.
Sounds like we need to clear our energy, Esther. Time for an Sarah spiritual energy clear. And just keep it moving.
Yes.
All right? You know what to do to make that happen.
I'll call you tomorrow. Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Listen, don't let anybody hear me. I appreciate your thank you, but hear this. Do not let anyone rob you of your blessings. When God gives you something, don't let someone undermine it. You hold on tight, because it's the gift from God. Okay?
And that's the fact.
I know.
From my heart, from your mouth to God's ears, and from my heart, that's the truth.
It is the truth. It is the truth, and that's why I love talking to the universe, because the universe is only in divine universal truth, only in divine universal justice, only in divine universal love. It is the energy and the flow of all that is.
I really appreciate you taking my call, because I've been so confused, and I'm not even a quiet person. I've been quiet because I'm thinking, what is this? What to do? And then I said, you know what? I've been looking for work elsewhere, and the Spirit caught me last night. I was at work and said, no. This year is going to be 5 years since you're there. This girl came there a year and a half ago, and I see what she's doing secretly. And I said to myself, look at that.
So, you know who helps reveal and this is an interesting conversation for everyone listening, because many people in their workplace will have, we have that pot stir, like, oh, really? I didn't mean anything. Or they speak up in the meeting and they say, oh, well, I didn't get the copy of that. Are you sure that they sent that email? Like, quiet. I remember sitting at the boardroom table going, what are you talking about? Right? I remember the girl who came to my boss, and I was writing business proposals. She's like, oh, I'm mortified. We sent a proposal that has typos and all of this. And he's like, what are you mortified about? That was our copy. That's not what we sent. That was what we were working as we were submitting things from different departments. That wasn't our final product. What are you doing in that system looking at that work anyhow? But she was trying to make me look stupid. So I know what you're going through. Anyone in a workplace knows how sometimes we can get undermined. So here is the method to solve that problem. Archangel Michael, shield me, protect me, use your sword to cut away negativity and reveal the truth. Because all Archangel Michael represents is truth.
Like I never have before.
Good. And they're teaching you something. And anyone in their life going through adversity, be it a health crisis, be it a family crisis, be it a financial crisis, be it a relationship crisis, be it a Mercury retrograde crisis, call upon God and ask God to intervene and turn it for the highest favor for you in God's divine dominion, and ask for it to be resolved. And even if you have to go through the dark night of the soul and pass through it, just know, because you put in the request, you put in the order to the universe is going to bring it full circle and give you something even better, or hold your place and protect you, depending on the divine plan. But I don't see the divine plan taking you out. I see she out. So when she makes a misstep, which is coming in the next few months, she's going to look really bad into her mishandling of the case, and then we're going to see who's going to be in and out. That's just what I see. That's what I know. Esther, thank you so much for calling from Texas, and we look forward to talking to you again, and God bless you. Bye for now.
Thank you. God bless you always, Sarah.
Thank you.
I appreciate everything. Bye-bye.
866-972-7247. If you didn't get a chance to call in tonight, or we didn't get to your question, write that number down. Be sure to be in the queue next Wednesday night from 6:30 to 9 p.m., where I love to answer questions. And I really love talking to the universe and connecting with all of you each Wednesday night here on Spiritually Speaking with Sarah. We greatly appreciate you. Good night. God bless you. And I am Sarah Spiritual.
We don't know the path. We have to listen to our heart. The ways that worked before, they don't work anymore. We have lost our love for everyone. We have hurt each other. The world is changing now. It's asking us to move along, to open up a different way of loving one another.
This has been Spiritually Speaking with Sarah. You can hear and speak with Sarah Spiritual every Wednesday from 6:30 to 9 p.m. Each week, Sarah Spiritual and Spirit answer your most important questions as you navigate through life. Listen and call in next week and let Sarah Spiritual and Spirit guide you. If you didn't have a chance to speak with Sarah Spiritual tonight, visit Sarah at sarahspiritual.com. You can message Sarah Spiritual at Facebook and follow her on Instagram. Tune in every Wednesday from 6:30 to 9 p.m. with more from Spiritually Speaking with Sarah.
The opinions expressed on the preceding sponsored program were strictly those of its host, guests, and callers, and not necessarily those of this station, its staff, management, or sponsors.
WSFS 104.3 HD3 Miramar, WIRK 103.1 HD3 Indiantown, and heard in Broward on 96.9 FM, Boca Raton on 95.3 FM, West Palm Beach on 95.9 FM, and in Martin County on 106.9 FM. Programming paid for by Vic Canales Media Group. We are South Florida.